Hello, everyone. That's me. Shut up. Welcome back to this awful, wonderful category. Playing Saint. I don't know how many times I've streamed this already, but it's been too many. 5 streams recently of Saint, plus the death percent runs all started with Saint 2. We're just gonna get started. Load splits again because I forgot or something. I don't know. I just want to see if I can make it to Rubicon at least. Because I think in the last Saint run, I didn't even make it there. I forgot something. Should have checked. I should have checked this beforehand. Speedrun timer. That's you need that for speedruns. I'm looking up at the top to look at the time and like, oh, it's not there. I turned it off. So a little strategy I found recently. Don't eat these yet. Tongue first. Eat them, go through the pipe. That way, it transitions while we're in the middle of the pipe, so it still counts as us being in this room. If we were to eat, or if we try to get to that room and then eat, I don't know if we would have enough time. I mean, there's probably plenty of little strategies here and there that I could pick up from other runs, try to improve. I'm mostly just working with what I know already. Very good. So the main problem with Saint is creatures, as is the problem for a lot of categories in this game. Speedrunning in general, creatures get in the way. For Saint, they're not really as much a problem for a character like Artificer. Whoops, was not looking. Like Artificer has so many creatures that they're like the main thing that you have to deal with in the run. Can I do a single slide? But for Saint, you know, there's a lot of other stuff that you have to do, a lot of movement-based stuff, routing. But the run is just so long that you end up dealing with a lot of creatures anyway. Mainly regions like Subterranean, Sonic Construct, Subterranean again, Rubicon. There's just a lot of creatures that can slow you down. There's one tunnel in Subterranean that leads down to a shelter that you need to take. And if that tunnel has like any creature in it at all, then you just lost like a minute waiting for that creature to move out of the way. Main problem with Sage not being able to throw spears is not being able to deal with situations like that. If you had a spear, you could just throw a spear at them and you wouldn't have to deal with it. But just throwing rocks doesn't really do much against most creatures. It's something like a centipede, you can't do anything at all other than to try to lure it out of the tunnel. It's something like a mole lizard, you also have to do that. Spiders are more approachable. Usually it is spiders that you see in that room. But even spiders, they're annoying, especially if there's multiple of them. If there's one spider, you might be able to push it out of the way, but multiple, it's just, you can't deal with that. So ideally, of course, you don't run into any creatures there, but that's like so unrealistic. Subterranean has just so many creatures. Expecting there to be no creatures at all in one area, but also it makes such a big difference for the run. I'm really at this point just doing runs until I get lucky with those kind of scenarios. If there's a creature that might show up that would slow me down a ton, hope that it doesn't show up. Also, I should mention farmeries. That's another area with a lot of creatures that can be annoying. Typically spiders and centipedes. Going down to the farmeries echo. So hello everyone who may have joined the stream. This is pretty good so far. I hear in about 5 minutes. I'm gonna eat these. Also, the chat is not updating. That's annoying. Alright, there we go. No. Okay, I won't be able to see chat messages for a while, I guess. Wondering why I have this problem. There's basically, I have the live stream open on another tab, but I have the chat popped out so I can read it on my second monitor. But sometimes I notice that it pauses for a long time and it's kind of awkward. I don't know if it's just that nobody's talking or if it's because the chat is broken. But I also have another tab, or another tab for the stream manager on YouTube, and that also has a chat, which usually updates. Well, sometimes that chat breaks too. Okay. Well, I would really like to have gotten that eek. So I might look over at the other tab, notice that the chat, or there's messages in that chat that I don't see in the pop-out chat. And usually I can update the chat by scrolling it up and down, but it's the very beginning of the stream. There aren't enough messages from it to allow me to scroll. So I guess it's just broken now. I don't really have time to go and fix it in the middle of the run. Please jump. So I saw that there's, you guys are talking about something, but I can't read it. So just give me a minute to get to the shelter or something. Or maybe it'll just fix itself. I don't know why it breaks like this though. I thought that being able to have the chat open on another screen like this is exactly why you're able to pop it out in the first place. So if it doesn't update, then what's the point? But of course it doesn't work correctly most of the time. Why was that a big jump? I have no idea. I hope you're not a main scavenger. That one might be with the explosive spear. Oh, that one definitely is. Thank you, popcorn plant. Goodness. Also, that did just prove that it's possible to get popcorn plants before it starts snowing. You just need a scavenger to attack you. Someone just went through that pipe. It's probably another scavenger. Is there a deer over there? Yeah. You know what? Thank you for that. Actually, never mind. That didn't help at all. That actually got in the way. Maybe if I jumped off of them properly, it would have been helpful to get up onto the ceiling. I still don't even know if it's faster to try to go up to the ceiling to do that. Just feels like it's faster because swinging is usually pretty good, but yeeks might also be pretty fast. Okay, I'm going to check the chat once we're... Wait, I hope that doesn't count as me eating it. Okay, it's still here. That's good. Okay, chat is back. I hope it works correctly. Tips on movement for monk or survivor. They have the same exact movement, except for swimming. For those characters, usually... Oh, I hate when I do that. A few frames away from activating dialogue. One movement that's really useful for Survivor, I'm just gonna refer to Survivor, is a slide pounce. I don't know if you know what a slide pounce is. It's when this guy's right here. You do a slide by pressing down and jump, or like diagonally forward and down, and then jumping at the same time. And then you'll do a slide, and then a little bit after doing the slide, you want to jump, and it does a slide pounce. It's basically like a charge pounce, a regular pounce jump, but you get more speed and like you get to slide into it, so you don't have to stand still to charge it up. And slide pounces are actually like quite difficult to pull off consistently. Starting the slide and actually doing the jump afterwards. Timings aren't completely easy, but it is really worth it to get that timing down. But just know, I think that's something that helps me, is to try to purposefully delay it. So if you're like trying to go fast, you may want to kind of rush the inputs. And try to like slide and jump as soon as possible, but that pretty much guarantees that you'll mess it up. Okay, well, that wasn't ideal, but better than it could have been. Also, for starting a slide, it always helps to press down first if you're on keyboard. Press down and then the direction that you're moving in, and then jump. But you do all those inputs very close together. And then when you're actually doing the slide pounce jump afterwards, make sure to delay it a little bit longer than you feel like you may have to. And don't try to rush it. You know, if you try to go faster by doing the jump earlier, it's just going to mess up the jump. But that's not the only movement, of course, for Survivor. Doing rolls really helps in like all scenarios. Just by, if you land from with enough height and hold down, you'll do a roll. And rolls are basically just do them all the time. This is actually what I'm doing right now. Every time I land, I'm doing a roll. But the jump that I do after it is a roll pounce. It's really high because of the eek that I'm holding. They make your jumps a lot higher. But there's still like a very fast movement option for Survivor and Monk, so try to like get used to rolling and doing roll pounces whenever possible. If I get a high jump out of that. So. right in that room. I want to jump up there. Doesn't work. That right there, these are slide pounces. And actually, Saint here has the same movement as Survivor and Monk, except for the tongue, obviously. The tongue is very useful for movement, and it actually makes him one of the fastest characters. But if you don't use the tongue, you're in a space that's like too like confined, and there's not enough space to move around and swing to build up momentum. They are basically just Survivor. So a lot of the movement that I will be doing in this run, if I'm not using my tongue, think about how you could apply that kind of movement when you're playing Survivor. But if you're not like if you're not speedrunning, the one thing that's like really useful is just rolling all the time. So obviously you don't have access to the tongue, but I'm going to jump up here with it, and when I land, roll. I'd mess up by landing on the slope, but there you go. That's how you can roll. So whenever you land from enough height, you should be doing rolls out of it, pretty much in every scenario. Rolls just move faster than regular walking, but also you can do that jump out of it. It also prevents fall damage if you do a roll. I don't know exactly by how much, but usually it's like safer to roll out of stuff. Especially if you do the jump. If you like try to do a roll pounce right as you land, then you won't take any fall damage at all. With a limit, of course. I think it doesn't work if you're moving way too fast. But it can help. I messed that up a bunch. That sucks. So this is the next area that's kind of awful. Why do they do that? They always like jump backwards for some reason. Not always, but like very often. So there might be a bunch of horrible creatures here or nothing. I got very lucky. As long as nothing shows up on the other side of this tunnel. Which is why I hate tunnels like this, because if there's suddenly another creature on the other side, you are just dead. You don't move fast enough to be able to escape it. Turn around for some reason. Also, roll, if you want to start a roll on flat ground and you don't have enough height to do it with a jump, you can do a backflip. So basically, run forward for a long time. Or not too long, for like about a second. If you run in one direction for long enough, turn around and then jump while you're turning around. If you don't jump, you'll notice that you do this like skid animation as you're turning around. Okay, don't do that. And it is during that like turnaround animation when you want to do a jump, you can do a backflip. And what you can do is you can do a backflip and immediately keep moving in the same direction. You have to hold backwards for a bit to start the backflip, but then you can immediately start holding forward again. And then if you do a backflip, you'll always be able to do a roll out of it. So that's usually a good way to get some speed going. Still down there. Might be dead. I'm super dead. I missed the rock throw anyway. That sucks. I hate that spider. They're always in that same exact position every time you get there. If I had a rock, maybe I could have dealt with them easier. Also, throw boosting. Throw boosting is a huge one that a lot of people don't know about. If you throw something, you'll be pushed forward in the direction that you threw it, the item. Doesn't make sense, of course, but who cares? So if you ever want to make a jump that you think that you won't be able to, or or that you don't feel confident with, always try to throw an item at the same, like right after you jump, and it'll make it significantly easier to get some distance and some speed if you want. If you're ever just like on flat ground and you want to build up some extra speed, do a roll pounce or a slide pounce and throw a rock at the same time, and it'll get pushed forward a ton. As long as you have a rock and you don't want to, or you feel fine with like throwing it away, or if there's another item in the room that you know you'll be able to pick up later. But mostly the best way, best advice I have is just to practice. Whenever you are in an area where you aren't particularly threatened by anything, you feel pretty safe, then just just practice your movement there. Just do a slide pounce or a backflip into a roll pounce. Just do that sort of stuff. And you might mess it up. You'll probably mess it up a lot. But eventually you'll stop messing it up, and then you can start using it in situations that are a bit more tense, where that kind of movement might actually save you. Rocks here. There's a throw boost that I just did right there. You can see that whenever I'm on flat ground, I'm pretty much always doing those slides. Right there. And then you can chain those rolls together. A bit slower than last time. Sometimes it feels like when I do these streams, I'm not gonna be able to finish a run for the whole stream. I'm never able to pick up both fruit at the same time. But it's this delay. Oh, is he happy? I don't know. I can't speak for Saint. They are stuck in a cycle. There's a bit of an opportunity for me to get the yeek a little bit faster. And, you know, just the yeek in general is place to improve the run a lot, but it's just inconsistent. Feels less like you can get good at eek movement and more like you can get luckier with the eek movement. Okay, I no longer am able to do that too. This guy's gonna be in the way. That's annoying. Actually managed to get past them though. Run this category a lot. I like Saint. Yeah, I enjoyed the movement. The actual run itself, I don't know. But it's mainly just this goal that I have. Because I have yet to get a sub-hour run, and I've gotten so close 3 different times. And another speedrunner who has run this category beat my time twice. They got a like 58 and then a 56. So it's like, well, now I have to keep doing attempts to try to at least get a comparable time to that. I did a run without creatures. It's basically a cheating run. And I got a 53:30. So that's the kind of time that's possible if creatures don't slow you down at all. That's just so unrealistic, but I think it's still crazy that I managed to get that time without creatures. But I've yet to even get below an hour with creatures. Like, do creatures really add that much time to the run? Like 6 to 7 minutes of waiting around for creatures? Because it doesn't feel like that when I actually do these runs. But I guess when I had splits on, I would like be able to save like 2 to 3 minutes, and then I would end up losing that time because of a few deaths. That's the main factor, I think. A few like creatures slowing me down is part of it, but also just dying, because all of those other runs that were almost sub-hour had deaths in them. So I think that's just the main goal: get a deathless run. And of course, when it's an hour long, not dying for that long is quite difficult with some of the creatures in particular. And especially in Rubicon, which is unfortunate. It's at the very end. But also, I'm just not exactly sure like what to do in this game anymore. I have this stream schedule that I've been trying to stick to, and that means I have to come up with an idea for something to do 3 times a week. And sometimes I either like don't really have any interesting ideas, or the ideas I do have would require preparation that I have not done. So I still have ideas for Rain World, but I'd have to like plan them in advance. And if I'm like kind of tired and I just want to like start a stream, it's like, well, I can't like plan this whole thing out right now. Although when I did the no creatures, the all deaths % run, where I died to every creature, I actually planned a lot of that right before starting the stream, and it was kind of stressful. Like the little tracker thing that I used to keep track of which creatures I had died to, I coded that myself like an hour before I started the stream. That was fun. And I think that's kind of a problem that I've had with some of the ideas that I've had for streams. Like, oh, I want to play this game that I haven't played on the channel before. But I would first of all have to make sure that I can actually stream the game and it doesn't break on me, and set up all that kind of stuff. But also, if I'm streaming a new game, I kind of don't want to just played the game, I kind of want to have some sort of plan for what I'm going to do or what I'm going to talk about. More Pizza Tower. Okay. I'll talk about that in a bit. But I like talking about games. And I've played Rain World enough to know what I'm talking about, especially since I've done a lot of streams about it. But if I play some new game, even if I have played it before, if I haven't played it on stream, I want to kind of have my thoughts organized. So it's like, when I get to this part of the game, I'll talk about this aspect, and that's kind of the thing that I want to do for these streams. But of course that means I kind of have to plan it out and organize it a bit. And not exactly like write a script for the stream. Then I might as well just make it a YouTube video, but at least like plan out the main points of things that I want to talk about during the stream. This looks a lot of fun. So if I want to just play some random game, it's like, well, I gotta prepare for it. Or I could just play Rain World, and I already know what to do, you know. But if I play Rain World again, then what do? I guess I'll just do another speedrun, you know. Don't move now, thank you. As for Pizza Tower, I kind of got tired of that game because there's two ways to approach the P ranks for the stream, and one of them is just start a stream, play a level, and like try to like practice it and get good enough to do the P rank. And that was exhausting. That was it felt like very repetitive to like play the same level over and over again and try to memorize everything about it on stream, where I felt like I didn't really have anything to talk about because I was just doing the same level over and over again. And I guess I could have kind of approached it the same way that I approached Rain World speedruns, where I just talk about random stuff. But I guess Pizza Tower kind of requires more concentration, especially in a P rank, so I wasn't able to talk. And also I've just played Pizza Tower less, so I'm not as good at that game. The other option is to practice the P ranks in advance, and then when I do the stream, it's like, now I just need to get the P rank. I've already practiced it a bunch, you know. And I did that. I did a stream like that, but I didn't actually like the way it went because I ended up getting the P ranks within like a handful of attempts, and I like ran out of stuff to do. I was like, well, I haven't practiced any other levels, so I don't know what I did after that. But I kind of felt like Pizza Tower was kind of exhausting to play because every single P rank that you wanted to get is like a ton of practice that you'd have to do and a ton of memorization. And I didn't really want to go through the effort of, and also like having to play a level so much that you memorize the routes through it that also picks up all the like other collectible things that you need for a P rank. I guess I didn't really like how extensively you would have to play a level and doing that for every single level in the game. So I just kind of got tired of the game. I did really enjoy it though, especially War. That was definitely my favorite level. I kind of wish there was a whole game where it was just levels like that. Some parts of Pizza Tower were like too open world, too much exploration. Because the game is all about speed, right? Building up speed and keeping that throughout the whole level. But if you're constantly having to stop and look around for secrets and like random collectibles and going back and forth, or like maybe having to backtrack for the treasure, that I feel like that kind of like really messed up the momentum of the game. And I'd rather just be able to move forward all the time, which is what War is like. There's no secrets, there's no like collectibles that are too far out of the way. It's just move forward all the time, and the secrets are like hidden in plain sight, right? That's not correct. They're right there, but it's like, do you want to risk taking the secret? I kind of like how that like plays with the timer, you know. And the whole thing feels like you're speedrunning it because of the timer. I feel like that War works, and as well War and the very last level of the game, the Crumbling Tower Pizza. Both of those I think were perfectly representative of like those were like the best parts of the game for me. Having to constantly like start and stop and look around for secrets and like maybe some backtracking, I did not like that part of the other levels. Maybe I should go back to do speedruns of that game. I also really hate the idea of having to memorize all the like things you have to pick up, because there's the toppings that you need to get right. Gosh. Wow, okay. There's the toppings that you need to get in order to unlock the boss gates, right? And then I'd rather just run through the level instead of having to memorize all of the toppings first. I guess that's not a huge barrier of entry, but it's enough for me to not want to try the speedrun. All right, we're here again. Also, I'm not burnt out of streaming. It's not burnt out. I'm definitely still like, I'm still excited to do this, and I still have plenty of Happy Saint. Yep, very very happy. I love this game. It's just that for Rain World specifically, I feel like I'm kind of running out of stuff to do other than speedruns, and speedruns can feel a bit repetitive sometimes. Maybe I'm getting burnt out of speedrunning, but not for streaming. Don't reset. The last time, there was another speedrun that I did where I was infiltration system and I died to that mole lizard exactly the same way that I just died. And when I got to the end, I was like 10 seconds away from sub-hour. So just that death was enough. Also, I realized that I messed that up. Oops. You're supposed to eat the popcorn first. What's my Terraria knowledge like? I have... Oh, shoot, what happened? Wait, what? I started a new game, but I'm here. Okay. That's bizarre. And either way, I just kind of want to do a deathless run anyway. Even if it only loses like 30 seconds. I just kind of hate having a death in a run like this. What's my Terraria knowledge? I have almost 3,000 hours in that game. So I think I have a decent amount of knowledge. Less so for the most recent updates of the game. I haven't played as much 1.4 or the like updates after that. But a lot of like 1.3. 3,000. Maybe that's a bit of an exaggeration. Over 2,000 for vanilla Terraria, and then over like 500 for modded. I don't know exactly the numbers after that though. But Terraria is my most played game by far. So that's the outlier. Rain World is a bit above 1,000 hours. And most of that is actually from streaming. I remember that it was maybe like 300 or 400 hours before I started streaming. Of course, you know, I've also played the game off stream. Like making videos or practicing speedruns. But probably a big chunk of that. A big chunk of that is from the streams. Something that I'd really like to do for live streams is kind of like tours for games. Basically, if there's a game that I've already played before that I'm very familiar with, basically playing through the whole thing and trying to like explore the most content as possible. And especially for like difficult games that maybe aren't the most approachable, like Rain World. Part of why I picked Rain World, because it's not that often that you find streams of people playing the game who are actually good at it. Of course, there is still the community, right? There's plenty of people who stream the game who are very good. But also, you know, a lot of people who play the game are like first time playing Rain World and they spend 3 hours in Outskirts, and it's like, well, is this really entertaining to watch? There's only a chance that they'll actually make it to the interesting parts of the game, or if they'll actually like get used to the controls and just kind of the feel of the game as a whole. Definitely takes time to get used to. Sometimes you notice when watching other people play where at the beginning they're like frustrated and kind of like confused or annoyed. But there might be a point where it's like, oh, they're actually enjoying the game now. They've figured it out, you know? It's kind of how Rain World is. And if some people aren't the best at the game, or they aren't able to actually like enjoy playing it because of the difficulty, then I would like to, or that is like some motivation for me to stream. If some people get to watch, please, you guys are never here. If some people get to watch me play the game and enjoy it, if they aren't able to enjoy it when playing themselves, except the difficulty, I'm glad. And same for other games. If there's something that's difficult, I would like to kind of create streams that are like a tour of the game. Because I'm definitely the kind of person who gets frustrated at watching people play a game badly, especially if it's a game that I really like. Like, oh wow, this live streamer is playing this game that I really like. But then actually watching it isn't fun at all because they keep making mistakes or like dying, and they seem kind of frustrated with the game, or they seem like they aren't really enjoying it at all. It's like, I mean, I don't really have those kind of experiences with games. I'm the kind to like search things up and to, like, look at the wiki. Terraria is the kind of game where it doesn't really give you any tutorials at all. It just kind of like throws you in and says like, good luck. And some people probably really enjoyed the aspect of that game where they're like exploring the world and figuring things out. Some people probably really enjoy that, but some people also probably get frustrated that they don't know what to do or that they feel lost. But I didn't have that really kind of experience because I would just watch like YouTube videos that are like tutorials or guides, or I would look at the wiki for like crafting recipes or stuff like that. Maybe the stream isn't really that different. We're about 50 minutes in, and I'm still in Sky Islands. Why not monetary? What do you mean? Streaming it? I mean, I've already streamed Monetaria. But, I mean, I'm fine with either vanilla or modded. I'm not against that. I haven't played Doria mod since it got ported to 1.4. There's also that other mod. I forget what it's called. It's the one that has a bunch of fancy visual effects. That's the main thing I remember from it. I kind of want to check that out because I have stayed like kind of spoiler free from that. Calamity mod is interesting, but I've already played that one so much it's not going to be like a blind experience at all. But I do have a lot of things to say about it. Oh wow, I really managed to grab them. And not die to that. Goodness. That was actually decent though. Even with that lizard. Starlight River, I think that's it. Get bat fights at the end. I mean, if you want to try. One time I brought a jellyfish to the Void Sea to see if I could zap the Void Worm. It doesn't do anything. Just like every item that you bring into the Void Sea, they don't work. But I can't, if I wanted to like do a stream with some sort of challenge, I don't really have any interesting ideas that don't involve mods. I thought of a challenge that's like the Guardians kill the jelly? No. Jellyfish aren't considered creatures, so the Guardians don't care about them. It's just that once you go to the Void Sea, there's like a limit where items just like aren't allowed to be in. And if you can hold on to them, but the moment you throw them, they just disappear. And even if you were to throw them, I don't think the Void Worm would be affected at all. I thought of a challenge idea that was like beating Rain World without touching water. But I kind of thought like maybe that wouldn't really be an interesting challenge because you would just find a route of the game that doesn't have any water in it, and then that would be it. That's the challenge. Like Artificer Story Percent, I don't know if that has any water in it. You just like go up and that's it. And like any challenge that involves carrying some item around just kind of sounds annoying. Like Spearmaster is already annoying enough. It's like why would I want to do that more? Spearmaster would have to carry 2 pearls. Yeah, that'd make it twice as fun. Surely. Alright, wait a little bit longer than seems necessary. You kind of want to leave the room early so that well, it's faster, but also if you leave too soon, then the dialogue doesn't start at all and you have to go back in. Feel annoying when that happens. I still don't know what the fastest way to grab a yeek is in this room. I mean, the fastest way is that if a yeek jumps out of a tunnel and you just like grab it on the top. That's the fastest way, obviously, but I don't know like what the fastest consistent method is. And I also considered doing some sort of combination of characters and different campaigns, but I feel like most of them just don't work. Anything involving Spearmaster's campaign doesn't work because you don't get the pearl. Anything involving Ribbit's campaign would basically just be the same as like Monk can go into Submerged Superstructure to get the cloak, right? But also, you know, Monk already, or like any character like struggles to get into the heart. And like Saint might be the only one who's able to. I don't even know about that though. It's like that just kind of makes the challenge impossible if you can't get to the heart. Why is the red spider going down? Also, why is there another red spider over there? This sucks. So say goodbye to like 3 minutes. Sitting here and waiting. And surely this red spider won't see me when I climb up here. What a surprise. I feel like the difference between a good run and a bad run is just you run into these creatures in these locations, you know? Oh, there's spiders there, so this run sucks. If there's like spiders or a mole lizard or a centipede in the entrance to filtration, then the run sucks. If there's a red lizard at the beginning of Rubicon, the run sucks. I think most of them hit the yeek and then one of them hit me. So I was stunned for a little bit. Gear boost. Thing is, the speedrun without creatures is actually a lot of fun. It's just movement. Just get good at the movement and you get a good time. That's the whole thing. Okay. Yeah. So I don't know if we're gonna get out of Skylands. I don't know about no creature runs though. Because like part of it sounds really appealing. It's like just movement, just like a regular platformer. You get better times by getting better at the game and not by getting luckier. And you can always rely on strats that will work 100% of the time instead of like being safe or sometimes dying. But also creatures are like the defining feature of this game. The creatures in the ecosystem, that's Rain World. Like if you remove creatures, like I don't know how other speedrunners feel about it. I don't know if anyone else even does no creature speedruns. But I found out about it. Or I actually like had the idea for a long time. Just that I only found a mod around when I was running Rivulet. Because Rivulet's 40% was getting really annoying because there's some creatures at the beginning of the run that are very good at killing you. So it was like every attempt had like a 25% chance of actually making it past Chimney Canopy. That's a rough estimate, but it's kind of what it felt like. So, and plus having to like restart drainage system and karma caching every time that you wanted to restart a run, it was very demotivating. So I thought, you know, I'll just do runs without creatures. Then I'll always make it to the end. So I won't die to creatures in the Chimney Canopy. And it was after practicing a bunch with no creatures that I felt confident with actually doing real attempts, and that's the round when I got the world record. But also, like, the world record run barely deals with creatures anyway. Right? That's kind of how Rivulet is. There's, like, creatures aren't that common. And once you get past them, you know, you don't really have to worry about it. And the world record run that I got was actually faster than the no creature run that I had done before. Yeah, obviously it is also important to practice normally. But that's kind of a just annoying part of speedrunning. Like, I need to prepare just in case there's a creature there that could totally ruin the run. But ideally, I don't run into that creature. And the moment you run into that creature, you're just imagining how much better the run would be if you never ran into the creature. And I feel like it always leaves me wanting to do runs until I get the perfect run with no creatures at all. Like, oh, this run was pretty good, but I ran into the small lizard and filtration system, and I also ran into the spider and farm rays. Like, I need to do another attempt so that I don't run into those creatures. Of course, that's never going to happen. That might have happened with your run. I don't know how you saved like 4 minutes out of nowhere. I haven't been able to watch the whole thing. It's like, yeah, I guess I'll just do attempts until I don't see any creatures. Or just be happy with an optimal run, you know? Probably how most players think of it. I mean, like, any percent survivor was the one, like, main category for the game for a very long time. And that run barely deals with creatures at all. There's, like, 2 green lizards in the beginning, and then, like, some mole lizards in filtration. That was, like, all the creatures you had to deal with. And plus the whole thing was just pretty short in general. Probably should. That's exactly why any percent was popular. It just felt like a regular speedrun. You just learn the route, do the movement, and that's it. Hello, welcome to the stream. Hell of a percent, however, has like 20 lizards in Chimney Canopy and in the wall. So it's like, do you want to just do the speedrun where you can just like beat it and not really deal with creatures other than in one area? Or do you want to deal with like 5 white lizards and a bunch of like pinks and blues and maybe some vultures too? I was watching Celeste speedruns recently, and it's amazing that the best runners are like... Okay, I should have gone down here. Goodness. I'm just fascinated by the fact that top runners are like perfect, or very close to perfect. Celeste is a pretty hard game at a high level, with all of the like ultras and hypers or whatever they're called, wave dashes. And those are things that I'm able to do, but I can't do them perfectly in like every single level on exact locations, because what they do in those speedruns is they learn where to do what, like exactly where should I do all the different like types of movement. So in this room, do like a dash there and a wall kick there, and then like a hyper wave dash, whatever. And they learn those routes and what movement to do, and they like execute it almost perfectly in the final run. It doesn't exist in Rain World. Maybe it's a thing for like a handful of the best any percent runs and like Pebbles percent. But those are the categories, like the only category, or like the only main categories for a very long time. And pretty much the only things that have been optimized. But in most other runs, you know, it's not like optimized to that degree. Because Rain World just kind of doesn't work that way. It's not a run that you can learn, and you can get good at the movement, and you can do it consistently. Maybe not consistently, obviously. I haven't seen all the top Celeste runners like failed attempts. I'm sure that they'd mess up a whole lot. But even like a few movement mistakes here and there aren't going to lose you like minutes at a time. Maybe if you die at the very end of a very long room. And obviously, like, if you have too many deaths, then your run is not going to match up with whatever your goal is, whether it's like world record or just personal best. That kind of movement is just not really a thing in Rain World. You don't learn like, oh, do a slide pounce here into a backflip, roll pounce twice, do a throw boost there, and it's slide, you know. Sometimes you learn that kind of stuff, but it's mostly just like improvising, I feel like. Like, oh, I have a rock, I guess I'll do an extended slide, or an EI hop. But then there's also rooms where just you see a creature and it's like, alright, just do whatever you can to get past this creature. You know? Also, the physics-based movement doesn't help at all. Sometimes you kind of like trip, like you stub your toe on a rock and suddenly you like fall over face first into the ground. Just the physics make things a little bit less consistent and kind of random. I mean, even really good Celeste speedruns still have a few deaths here and there. I mean, if you die at the very beginning of the room, you like lose, what, like 3 seconds? Sometimes like 3 deaths in a good run aren't like the biggest deal. But I suppose, you know, movement not being perfect like that isn't like the main problem with the speedrunning, obviously. It can be. It is cool that there's kind of this like improv. The way that it's like very open-ended. Okay, now Yeek shows up on the surface. I guess it's more of a it mostly just shows that Rain World isn't a very popular game to speedrun. Or a very popular game in general. But I know plenty of people have played the game and enjoyed it, but like speedrunning this sounds awful. And it kind of is. And I'm sure that if there were like 10 times as many players, then those runs would end up being that optimized. But also, you know, just the RNG and the creatures can definitely make the speedruns less appealing. And if runs were 100% consistent, then people would maybe actually be interested in trying to optimize movement perfectly. But, you know, why bother with good movement if you can save a minute just by not running into a creature? You know? Like, in the previous runs that I did, they had deaths in them. They had, like, moments where I got slowed down by creatures a lot. So I honestly don't need to practice my movement at all. If I just get luckier, I will save, like, 3 minutes. But what if I already had, like, an ideal run, and I really had to go and, like, get better at movement and learn different strategies, maybe? What if that was the way that I had to improve the run, and not just by getting luckier? And that is what the no creature runs do. For the most part. And I need to remember the strategy after this run. Yeah, the randomness is also sort of nice, a little bit. You never know what to expect. And sometimes you do run into like kind of like funny scenarios randomly. That always happens in Rain World. Some random interaction between creatures. But for speedruns, it can be annoying if that interaction slows you down. Like, oh, that's cool, but it would be cool if, you know, it didn't affect me. Another problem with the no creature runs is just the leaderboards are very bloated. Not in number of runs, but the number of categories. Just for every single category, like story percent or any percent or pilgrimage or 100%, there's like 7 different runs. 7? 8 different characters, or 9, you want to believe. That many different runs for every single category, plus categories that may be unique to a specific character. Plus, like, different versions of the game, like, 1.5 or 1.9. Like, adding no creature categories basically doubles that. Or any category, really, that applies to anything. I kind of wondered, though, if anyone is interested in doing no creature runs. Maybe, like, as an event. Like a race, because the races kind of bother me. I think speedrun races are, like, a really cool idea, but creatures just don't... I feel like it doesn't work in Rain World. It's too random. And also because of how much time you lose from dying. Maybe we could do a race event with no creatures. Although maybe that would just kind of filter out everyone who's like the best at movement. Or like... I mean, I guess that's the point of a race, right? If you are the best at movement, you win the race. And maybe creatures kind of like levels the playing field a bit. I don't know. Maybe it could be like we pick one specific category and then we try to see like within a week or maybe a month or something what's the best time anyone can get in this category without creatures. So we say like Gourmand story percent run. Who can beat Gourmand without any creatures? Who can beat that the fastest? and then within the week, everyone does attempts, and it's like actually fun to run because there's no creatures making it RNG heavy. And people get to figure out strategies, and then at the end of the week, suddenly we have like a really good Gourmand story percent run. And people might see that and be like, okay, well, like now I can do an attempt with creatures, like a normal run, but I know what strategies to use. I don't like that guy. But also organizing events kind of sounds like a huge pain. Oh wow, that barely missed. Personally, I would like it more if it was less of an organized event and more of just like a post on Discord. It was like, hey, here's the category, here's the rules, like good luck, you know. And then people could just submit runs. And then if anyone wants to, they could go and like do streams where they do races or something. I wonder if a spider will get in the way in one specific tunnel and make me wait like 10 minutes. No, 17 minutes because I'd have to restart. That's fun. That's a fun idea, right? One creature like ending the run. I think I have found a way that might actually work at preventing that. Please let go. Thank you. I don't see anything. We're good. Although there's a lot of character specialists in this community. If we did an event like that, that specialist would like have a huge advantage. Like, oh, I'm the one person who runs like monk story percents. I already know the routes and I already practiced this. Because like a lot of characters are like that where only a handful of people actually find the speedrun appealing, but then those handful of people get really good at that one speedrun. And also some people might just be uninterested. Like the moment there's a Gourmand event, it's like, oh, Gourmand, I don't like Gourmand, I'm not going to participate. But also part of it would be incentivizing, trying out characters that most people don't usually. And maybe the no creatures part would actually make a difference, although, you know. I don't know if that would be part of it. That's just my input. I like doing no creature runs. And doing an event that like singles out like one category to be no creatures would mean that you don't have to like double the amount of categories to make every single run have a no creature category. Please move. Slides. Wonder if there will be a whole bunch of birds over here. Oh, not actually. Oh, ah, that's nice. That's not nice. That's less nice. Please stop. You know how it's good I could use those dynamites to get climb up here. One must only imagine. Oh, alright, yeah, let's just fall down here. Why not? You're a small centipede, right? Yeah, grab onto that lantern, mouse. The start of the run stream is exactly the same. And creatures off, yeah, I did. It's been a while since I've actually finished a run. I just thought about Lancer, the mod that gives you the melee spear. I think you could do throw boost with that, right? But since the spear never leaves your hand, you basically just have infinite throw boosts. I would love to play the Saint Lancer. Except how would you make that character because the Saint doesn't throw spears? I don't know. But if they still had the ability to do those throw boosts, I'd love to play that character. Just throw boosts whenever you want. Plus the grappling. Okay. That's one of those mods I'm really excited for. To be updated with the Downpour Slugcats. Because I think it already has the versions for the Monk, Survivor, and Hunter. Lancer variations, but then there's not yet any like Downpour characters, Gourmand, Artificer. Nice throw boost right there. Didn't really lures you in with a false sense of security. How empty these first few regions are. Like, there's a handful of orange lizards in Sky Islands, and that's it. And you go down to Subterranean, it's just awful. Whose idea was it to go down to Subterranean anyway in the speedrun? You know, has anyone else actually looked into potential alternate routes for Sustain? I just kind of saw this route and was like, yep, that makes sense. But also, it's hard to imagine another route that actually hits all the echoes, because the Subterranean echo is so out of the way, the Undergrowth one is out of the way. And you pretty much have to go to Subterranean anyway to go to Rubicon. So peaceful. But also, you don't want to save the Undergrowth echo for last if you get it from Filtration, because you want to have the flying ability to move through Shoreline faster. So it kind of makes sense to leave the Shoreline, or both the Iterator echoes as for last, because then you get to use the ability to move through the underwater sections. It just makes sense to get the Undergrowth echo early through Filtration system. I guess you could get it from like outskirts. Like you could go down, like, but also going to outskirts just like leaves you really far away from Subterranean, or specifically the Subterranean echo, just close to the farm rays, really. Wrong colored geek, no way. It's like, I guess you would go to all the echoes in the beginning. You would just head over to the Subterranean echo and just grab that without staying in the shelter. You would then get sent back to Sky Islands, or maybe some other echo, or some other shelter. And then from there, you'd go to Chimney. Maybe you'd grab that echo then. Although, no, you can't do that because you need enough karma to get to Subterranean. That feels like way too much backtracking. This route, like, is very continuous, other than, like, past Shoreline. Because you have to grab those echoes and then go backwards. But also, going backwards is a lot faster since you get the Ascension ability at that point, so you can fly through the underwater sections. And Subterranean is usually to deal with when you can ascend like Mirror Spurs and stuff that gets in the way. I guess this is another opportunity to try out the alternate Rubicon route. I don't think I've done a no creature run that went on the left side. Are you stuck? Also, Wormgrass aren't creatures. They're still here. It's kind of unfortunate that the runs where passaging would be useful are the runs where we can't passage. Like, Spearmaster has so much backtracking, it'd be nice to passage after, like, getting to Moon, but you can't passage with the Pearl. It'd be nice to passage as Saint, get back to filtration system, but you can't passage. It just doesn't work. And in the other runs, I feel like there's just not really reason to use passages. There's like not much backtracking. Just that I don't need to spawn in another Yeek. I'm gonna just keep using this one. Please don't take that. One of the titles of all time. But now they're running away from me. How dare they? No, please, really. Usually they just kind of jump around in place, but maybe... I don't know. This is actually also canon, this run. If Saint goes around and ascends every single creature. This is the New Game Plus run. Can't descend these guys though. So this run is pretty much going to be exactly the same up until Subterranean. That's the main difference. Yeah, this is where you need the Yeek. Surprised they haven't fallen through the floor. Even without creatures, I find my own ways to get time losses. Okay, you have interesting ideas, but I don't know if you really have to name or like describe the taste of every single food item in the entire game. That was cool. Have I tried Outer Expanse percent? I have. That's a fun category. I actually did, I got a pretty good run for that category, but I think I had a remix setting on that was not allowed for speedruns. So it's not a valid run, but I kind of don't care anyway. I haven't really been submitting runs for the leaderboards. I sure hope these Wormgrass won't do anything. That's what I've been trying to do. Get a pipe boost out of that. Or not trying, but forgetting. Okay, bad idea. That sucks. I should have just waited. See, I find my own time losses. Didn't even die to the Wormgrass there. Okay, now we can actually get moving. Just kidding, we have to wait in this gate for a while. I mean, waiting for the pain cone, just waiting for a little bit wouldn't be nearly as bad. Also, I don't think throwing the pain cone, I don't know if that helped. So I wanted to like get rid of it, to throw it away from me, but it might have just activated it sooner than normal. This is gonna be fun. It's kidding, I suck. Yep, I still suck. That's a bit better. I could just go down. Isn't this crazy? I could just take the route. Okay, this actually told me something. It doesn't matter at all when you eat the first set of gooey ducks, because you get enough food from those two right there. Because I did this thing earlier where I would eat one gooey duck and save one for later after sleeping. But it doesn't matter if you eat them right away, because then those two gooey ducks in filtration system are still enough. I still can't get into these tunnels properly. Hello, welcome to the stream. Railroad is so good. I agree. Railroad is pretty cool. Dandelion peach tastes like peach, but also like a dandelion. That's crazy. That's an incredibly original idea. And blue fruit, do they taste like a fruit but blue? I don't know what blue tastes like, but that must be how it is. The AI is insane. Well, the thing is, right now I'm doing a speedrun, and I kept dying to that AI, and it was annoying. So I have a mod enabled that disables creatures. If you like that part of the game, you're not going to be seeing any, but it makes the speedrun more fun. And I'm aware that it's not a valid run, but I don't really care. It's not like, even if I did finish a run, I don't know if I would even submit it. I just wanted to finish a run today. So I've been doing the speedrun for a while without much success. Also, I guess I should explain. I am currently streaming on YouTube and Twitch at the same time. There are more viewers on YouTube than on Twitch. So if you want to see more people in the chat, YouTube is the better option. Like 3 people. A little more than that. Thanks everyone for watching, by the way. And anyone who is watching the stream but not typing in the chat, you're cool too. Saint is your favorite, that's cool. I really like Saint. But the speedrun is very long. You have to go around and get all of the echoes and then go through all of Rubicon. It's kind of a pain. Mostly because of the creatures I just mentioned about. Subterranean right here is like one of the most dangerous areas. Sub's like a ton of creatures everywhere. They like to really get in the way and be annoying. And you have to go through Subterranean twice. Once heading to Shoreline and once heading down to Rubicon on the way back. So we get to go through this wonderful area twice in the run and probably die through it twice. I've died in Subterranean many times. Saint probably has some of my favorite movement in the game, is grappling. So you get to do stuff like this. Like in perfect conditions, like in these rooms in Subterranean, Saint is definitely the fastest character. There's also like the skill of trying to build up that kind of speed in a less ideal room. Subterranean is kind of perfect for it with its like flat ceiling and open rooms, but if you don't have that, then you have to make do with whatever you can get. Now I'd like to also mention the mod that I'm using to disable creatures. It doesn't work perfectly. Specifically in Silent Construct, which is the next region that I'm heading to after Shoreline. That region does not work with the mod, so I will be seeing creatures there. There's mostly just like one blue lizard and maybe scavengers. And also, I have no idea. They kept Troll Lizard. Yeah, the blue lizard in Rubicon, at the very beginning, I called the Troll Lizard because it always trolls me. It doesn't usually kill me and like end the run, but it usually slows me down like at least like 10 seconds. So it's always in like the worst spot possible, and you have to like, kind of maneuver around them in these like tight tunnels. So I call it the Troll Lizard. So of course, they do the ultimate troll, and when I have a mod enabled that literally disables creatures, the Troll Lizard says nope. And this guy too, apparently. Just do that whole thing upside down. Yeah, that's just foreshadowing. So right now I will head to where am I going? I'm heading to Moon. I forgot the route. We head to Moon, then head to Pebbles, then head back to Moon, then head back to Rubicon. That's the route. I think the jellyfish are still here too. Because they aren't really creatures, they're just kind of like a part in the environment. So that's fun. Yeah, they're still here. I mean, they're definitely not creatures, they're just a bunch of slime mold wearing a trench coat. Love Moon so much. Wow, that's crazy. I had no idea. I couldn't tell based on your previous messages. Well, we won't be staying for that long. Don't grab me, thank you. You know, when I first played Saint and Reveal It, when both of those characters run into these giant jellyfish, I never once like died or got grabbed by the giant jellyfish. They were not a problem at all. And randomly, a bunch of speedrun attempts that I did for Saint, I died because of the giant jellyfish. And if I didn't die, then I might have been able to get a sub-hour time. So now I'm very careful with the giant jellyfish. They can even grab you if you're flying underwater. Just a lot of fun. Ooh, that's fun. Shit out of train lizard. It only makes sense. Train. Water hop. But train lizard, okay. Train lizards aren't real. It's all in your head. Well done. Thanks. No, the gravity cycle was almost bad, but I was so slow there that it actually lined up. Please. Still stuck at this area for some reason. Yep. Also, I didn't leave Moon. This is all still Moon right here. That was weird. I did not plan that out. And plus, we'll be returning to Moon anyway. Alright, now we head to Pebbles. And meet the troll lizard too. Very exciting. Somehow you find the end with the most enjoyable slug cat. That's crazy. Actually, I wonder if it's a good idea to... Actually, never mind. It's pretty much always faster to eat fruit in a gate. So again, it might be a good idea to wait a little bit on the fruit and eat them both together on the way back, but probably saves time just to eat it in the gate anyway. You know, these gates, I never know when they start closing. Does it start closing once you are not moving, or once you're not pressing any buttons and doing any inputs? Take both of them into the gate. I like the being able to do extended slides though. And I don't even have enough. I can't eat that many. Once you aren't pressing buttons, so it's faster to like fling yourself into the gates and then stop pressing anything. Some other like strategy I see is to walk into the gate and then stop the moment you like enter it, right? So that stops moving as soon as possible, but okay, because I do the like no inputs strategy, so I guess that's good, and I should keep doing that. I assume it's the same for shelters too. Alright, get ready for the troll lizard. Please. Okay, just getting troll scavengers. Goodness. Yeah, really. I jump scared that guy. Don't. See, this is what I'm talking about. That's exactly where I need to go. Oh great, now there's scavengers there too. Yeah, that's actually wonderful. Thank you. That actually helped me out. I mean, it would have helped if they weren't there at all, of course. Scav W for sacrificing themselves. Oh, wait, I probably know where this Mira's bird is. Yeah, they're off screen. Don't go down there. Oh, it's fine. We're gonna see the troll lizard again. Oh, there's one. But also, I forgot which way I'm going. I didn't need to go up there. We're going to the echo first. Oh, hello, vulture. One time, a vulture fell from the sky right into the water. I mean, I guess that's not too not too rare. Like, that happens in score runs all the time. Farming vultures and they fall from the sky. It just happens that there's a pool of water they fall into. Or maybe it's a little bit more than a pool. This is the area that I always feel like I'm not going to do well, and then I end up doing it okay. But it's probably I'm going to make a few mistakes anyway. funny thing about this little image here is that it moves based on the position of your mouse. I think that it might even move if your cursor is like way off screen and you're not even using it. So it, like the image appears off-centered. Why? Come on, just keep climbing, right? There they are. Okay, they're actually nice today. No trolling today. Brainworld was so popular they turned Slugcats into 2 entirely unique creatures. There they are. There's the second troll lizard too. A spider check. No spider, except I messed that up, please. Probably fly more often in this area. Same group of 4 lantern mice from this one room. Nice to see them. Goodbye, Pebbles. Stream keeps lagging. Refresh. I don't see any dropped frames, but this seems like a problem that I've been having. Where now OBS doesn't tell me that there's been any dropped frames, but it lags anyway. Or maybe it's just a problem for some people. Because I have noticed that Twitch tends to lag. Or like Twitch VODs get like split up into multiple for some reason. If I do one stream, there'll be like 5 VODs for it. That hasn't happened yet for this. I imagine that if it lags and loses connection for a bit, then it creates a new VOD. It resets the stream. Yeah, if you have any problems, just refresh. Oh yeah, no more creatures. That was only a thing for Sonic Construct, so back to the peace and quiet. That was really good. Oh. I wonder if you accidentally fall in the water, if it's faster just to keep going, or if it's faster to climb out and then activate flight. What are those tentacles doing up there? Please. Please. I didn't want to wall jump. There we go. World record pace? That's crazy. I wonder why. Now, last time I did this, I forgot to get moon. So, we're going head to moon right now. It is, in fact, an important part of the run. Actually, isn't important at all, but we do it anyway. I don't know why story percent isn't just completing the... Like, getting to Rubicon as fast as possible, because there isn't really any reason that you have to go whatever way to get the iterators. But we decided to make that category any percent, and then this category where you do ascend the iterators story percent, even though it really should have just been story percent. Didn't have to get the iterators, and then you would have an extra, like, true ending percent category just for Saint. But that's just me. Personally, I would prefer to be running any percent, but story percent is the main category, so that's what I'm doing. So this should be enough to last this room. But also, yeah, it does make sense for this to be story percent because the iterators are important for the story, I guess, and it would be kind of weird to make a unique category just for Saint. I just don't really like the routing for getting the iterators. You have to do a lot of backtracking. What's the point of the Saint campaign anyway? It all resets in the end. Okay, now I can actually fix those mistakes. And we're not gonna fall down there. I mean, I already did fall, but not any further. Yeah, I could have done that way better. Hello, Moon. Goodbye, Moon. Ascended Data, is it still canon? Well, when you finish a Saint campaign, you were left off at the beginning in Sky Islands, right? The same place where you start a run. But you don't have an option to continue your save file. You only have the options to start a new run. And I think that's because they're the same thing. Starting a new run and continuing is exactly the same thing. That's why things stay in your stomach from the previous run. But if you then start a new run, go to the iterators, they will still be there, non-ascended. Same with all the other creatures that you may have ascended, even though that doesn't even work. For some reason, entering those vertical things are just like really difficult. Isn't it nice being in sub training and knowing that I'm not going to die to a like mechanical bird? Or a massive electric centipede? Or a bunch of spiders? Watch me find a way to like end the run anyway. Ow, my brain. Whenever people talk about like the idea of a like 3D or like VR rain world, like go outside. Now, weird thing, there's a droplet there. How is there still a droplet? I don't know. I don't think there's any other creatures here. It's just that droplet. Like the Centipede was fine, the droplet is fine, and jetfish are fine. I don't think there's any jetfish for Saint, but for Rivulet there's jetfish even if I have this mod on. So true. I don't even remember what I said. So true what? Oh, the outside? Yeah. Now, I actually don't remember if this mod works correctly in Rubicon. Because do the creatures that the Guardians spawn, do those count as like creatures that the mod removes? I know the Guardians will still be there. Also, look at the top of the X. There's like a little indent. Isn't that cool? And it's kind of weird to like, I always expect like this area to have like slowed down time. I already forgot the route. You're supposed to go like the other way, or maybe not. I don't actually know which one's faster. Here you're close to the Guardian when you come out. And imagine if a red lizard just showed up out of nowhere and instantly killed me. That'd be crazy. Surely that would never happen though. Just something that shows up that you really can't react to, and that instantly ends the run. Never imagined. This is probably not the fastest way to go through this room. But it is a way. Surely, like, it's fine this wouldn't show up and out of that pipe and instantly end the run too. I'm sure they wouldn't enter this room and be immediately greeted by a Miros vulture that just eats you. I'm now entering rooms that I'm not very familiar with. have no idea which way to go in this room. Up. I think up is a good idea. And surely another red lizard wouldn't show up. that's still a funny joke, right? Was it even funny to begin with? I don't know. Don't. Thank you. I told him not to, but you know how it is. You're very late? No, you're not late at all. In fact, this is actually my first attempt. It's going very well. I'm also definitely not using any mods to make this easier. That would be counted as cheating. No, not at all. But also welcome to the stream. Went the wrong way. Probably wouldn't better just keep flying. It would also be crazy if you entered this room and you just died instantly for no reason. Big AI hops. Forgot this room looks like, or I'd never remembered in the first place. There it is. There we are. What's up with this pipe, really? Please. Hello, guys. Bye. Good prediction on the time, by the way. Exactly 34 or 50, 54. I can read. Wow, this is crazy. This is world record. If only this kind of time was actually possible by a human being. Maybe Dream could do this. Haha. It's crazy that creatures alone lose like 6 minutes. Because apparently whenever I do the speedrun, I can't get below 1 hour. I don't know how to feel about this game, this speedrun. I'm sure I could keep doing attempts and eventually get a sub-hour run, but it probably wouldn't ever get close to this kind of time. And even 56 sounds ridiculous. Client those through pulse. I'm not going through that whole sequence. It would take another hour. Yeah, I just don't really know how to feel about this category. It's just kind of been frustrating to keep running this and like keep dying to random stuff out of my control. And you know, there's already a good run. If you want to see this speedrun done actually well, go watch Finadi's run. They have the world record right now. 56:30 something. Monk story percent. Actually, I kind of want to try out monk story percent. That's actually a category I'm interested in, and it's monk, so it's actually like possible. It might actually be enjoyable. I have to learn submerged superstructure though. I am not familiar with that region at all. Yeah, monk. Maybe I should try out some more monk categories if creatures are like the main problem that I'm having. Saying it's not a great speedrun. I disagree. I think they like they're great for speedruns in a vacuum. Like I really enjoy the movement part of this run. If this run like didn't have any creatures, if this is what the category was, I'd actually probably be interested in trying to optimize it a lot more than this, just like I did with Rivulet. Although there's still much to improve with Rivulet too. It's just it's not Saint the problem. It's Rainworld that's the problem. And most of the Downpour characters plus Hunter, just they don't really work well for speedruns. This game really rewards patience. In most scenarios may be impossible to get past unless you just wait it out. And I think it works fine for the game. When playing casually. Trying to like avoid being seen by dangerous creatures. It's like kind of part of the feel of being a slugcat and playing this game. The moment you start speedrunning it or actually like doing anything outside of just playing the game, you're kind of breaking that immersion, right? Speedrunning and streaming actually kind of takes away part of the game's immersion, where it's like, hello viewers watching me play a video game instead of me being immersed in this alien ecosystem. And speedrunning is like kind of ignoring everything that's good about this game and just trying to like, well, not ignoring the movement and like the environment and the music and you know all that sort of stuff is still great and like an enjoyable part of speedrunning. I mean, I'm specifically referring to Rainworld. By streaming it, it kind of takes away part of Rainworld. I mean, I don't mind. I still enjoy Rainworld when streaming it and playing it in this way. But also, you know, there's a point where you learn Rainworld so well and you play it so much that it just kind of becomes a video game. And yeah, it's always a video game, but it's Rainworld is kind of special in that first time that you play it, it feels like something different. It has this kind of unique experience. Max points expedition. That sounds awful. I'm not really interested in trying that. I might try doing more expedition stuff, but I don't know. I'm thinking of playing maybe modded characters in expedition. I kind of want to try that. But anyway, yeah, Monk. I'm interested in Monk. I might do that next for speedruns. Just because, you know, they're not very harsh with the creature spawns. There are some creatures here and there that are annoying, I think. Expedition all burdens, that's the same problem. It is the burdens that I don't like in a max points run. Because, like, no matter what the objectives are, you'll be able to make progress on them eventually, but the burdens, especially the one that makes it permadeath, that kind of, like, sounds awful to, like, spend so long grinding out these, like, difficult creature kills, and then suddenly it's, like, all over because of a handful of mistakes. But anyway, that's going to be the end of the stream. I don't know if I want to do more Saint speedruns, honestly. So I've already, like, the past, like, 5 streams. Like, the past few weeks, I've just been Saint. So I'll probably do something different. Thanks everyone for watching. See ya.